Who are you? How do you know? First, we need to consider, where am I? I cannot exist in empty space. There are things around me. There are some train tracks and the pier right there. And I'm looking across the ocean. Though I'm cold, it's beautiful. And it makes me think of all the times I've come here before, just wondering about the people on the other side. There is a stone marker on the rocky shore of Saturna Island, where my grandparents on my mother's side lived for many years. As long as I can remember, I would visit the island each summer with my sister and enjoy the slow pace of small town island life. My grandma would often wake up early and encourage us to walk the loop with her. We would get excited to do this because, well, it felt good to get our bodies moving. We got to spend time doing something with Grandma, who could walk impressive lengths, though she always took it easy on us. And sometimes we would interact with the many deer that were friendly enough to eat out of our hands, or hummingbirds and woodpeckers that would often make appearances, and an incredible amount of diversity amongst plant life. Once, I was stung by stinging nettle when taking a shortcut back home through the loop. I remember it vividly. I remember my grandma washing my leg with something and having to deal with the painful itchy rash. But back to the marker. It was located on the east end of the island, East Point, or Tekteksen, which means long nose in the Sinchothan language. It sat on the top of the cliffs, or caves as we called them, but they were great fun to climb and rest, do yoga on, or play in the natural sandbox without getting too close to the waves. We had to be careful, but if you were accompanied by an adult, or when old enough, we could walk down close and maybe meet a sea lion or starfish between the mountains of barnacles and strings of seaweed. The stone, as my grandma told me, marks a view of the just offshore green buoy in the water, where the United States of America meets the Canadian border, a kind of confusing gray zone that I always found fascinating. The border, I had previously thought, was a straight line, but it is translucent, intangible, not clear, not concrete. I sit here now and wonder, what are the stories from the other side of the water? I wonder if someone there has similar stories to me. If there is another stone marker across the same ocean where another child had played just like me, learning and listening to stories from their own grandmother. Playing and exploring on my grandparents' island developed my love of writing. There was a particularly old house on East Point that my grandma would show me around, since I had a fascination with it. I thought it might be haunted. I thought all kinds of stories that involved a lone seafarer living quietly next to the lighthouse. But there was a mystery, and maybe ghosts? My imagination would get carried away, more than my pen on a page. Today, that old house is a beautifully restored little museum. Without the land, without the place, my stories are not. I would not have any experiences to share. I would not learn anything about the land, or about myself within it. My name is Kayla Thomas. Within it, humans do not exist as separate from the land around us. We are part of it. I am from Golden, British Columbia. This place teaches me things and I make sense of it. I grew up playing in my backyard with the mountains in all seasons, where I learned that honeysuckles are sweet and grass is not. And if I take care of it, it can provide for me. My most striking memory is the way that icicles covered a bush in the winter. The land is my friend. Icicles cascading into frozen waves where I imagined fairy castles. Land is a character in my story, and it accompanies me on my journey at all times. My experience with the land and all beings have taught me so much. Kenyan Kehaka Mohawk writer Sandra Stiers recalls a Haudenosaunee teaching states that we are all part of the land beneath us, the sky above us, and all that surrounds us. What can the land teach me? What can it show me about myself? My dislikes, my likes, my passions, my responsibilities. My experience with land taught me all of that. Touch the stinging nettle, it hurts. Touch the key of a piano, and it rings out. I would not have realized I wanted to seriously write and dream up stories if it wasn't for my island explorations at Tekteksen, East Point. I would not have learned to be careful around stinging plants on walks enjoying the beauty of the island wildlife if I was inside watching the TV. Every good story begins with two things: character and setting. Without one or the other, the audience naturally wonders who and where. Both of these things matter to meaning making, the way that we come to understand events. People and places are wrapped up like the 7 layers of tape that your favorite sibling stuck on top of your birthday gift just to make you laugh last July. Indigenous teachings carry many beliefs about land, like how it holds memories. A Secwepemc teaching from Lucy Charlie reads, "To understand how we got to today, we have to hear all of the stories of this place." People come and go, but the land is always there to witness. Some beliefs are spiritual, like how ancestors walk alongside the land as they have walked there before. Kelsey Kalana of the Okanagan Indian Band was taught to walk on the grass instead of the pavement because every feeling felt by the worker who laid the concrete will pour over into you with every step you take. Many Indigenous people believe that land is a living being. It is truly a friend. Or, as Sandra Stiers compared, a primary caregiver who guides and carries you. Robin Kimmerer from the Potawatomi Nation believes that nature sends teachings to us. The roots of a tree can teach us to be steadfast and strong, persistent. The moss, as she says, shows us resilience. Land is a teacher. So am I the main character in this story? Or is it the land? It is the land that is my story today. Yet there are stories of the past here too. There are stories in books and in the museum about the history of this place. And if you joined in on the Truth and Reconciliation Walk this past September on traditional Semiahmoo Nation territory, you would have heard stories from Chief Harley Chapel. Stories of this place passed from many thousands of years ago. And there will be stories in the future. Maybe you will tell them. So who and where are you?